Camp in a Box campers. So this week you are getting to learn how to make your own fishing pole. So a couple of things that you will have in your box to gather. You have some of these eye hooks right here, these little things. You may have 3 or 4 of them, but you're going to want to grab those. The other thing you're going to want to grab is you have a spool of fishing line. It may not look exactly like this, but you'll have some fishing line in there. So go ahead and grab that and have that ready. You also should have a bobber in your pack. Again, it may not look like this, but you want to grab your bobber that's in there. And then you will also have a fishing hook. And I just lost one bobber. Good thing I have more. You're going to grab a fishing hook. Yours will be wrapped in orange duct tape. Please make sure you have an adult help you with that because the fishing hooks are sharp. So we'll come to that at the very end. You also want to make sure you have some scissors with you. And then the other thing you have to go do, you have to go find this on your own, is a good stick to be your fishing rod. So I went out and I found this nice long stick. It actually has kind of a cool curve. So when we go fishing, it'll be kind of out over the water for it. So you're going to start with your fishing hook, and then you're going to grab your eye hooks that you have here. Again, you may have 3 or 4, just depending on how many you need. You do want a stick that's also a little bit thicker because you want something that these eye hooks are going to be able to get into and hold onto the wood that's in there. You may need a parent's help when you start this, but you're going to space these out evenly up the rod, and you're going to get your last one up as close as you can to the top. So hopefully it's not too thin up here and won't break on you, but you want to get it up as close to the top as you can. So I'm going to start these off. I'm going to start down here a little bit. And again, it does take a little bit of time to get these in. You've got to be a little slow to get it started because you got to push and twist into the wood. And again, don't feel bad if you need to ask out to an adult for some help because it can split the wood if you start trying to go too fast. You have to try and go straight down with it, and it eventually will catch once you've got a good start to it. Or not. Don't worry if it takes you a couple times to get it started. There you go. I think I've got it caught now as long as I stay straight with it. There, it's catching now. Perfect. So you can see it's starting to go in. Starts to get a little easier. I can tighten it a little faster. And you want the hook to be flat with the ground. So again, parallel to the ground is where you want that hook to be. So you may have to adjust it a little bit, but you want that nice straight to the ground there. Since I lost a hook, I'm going to go up a little bit higher here. Let's see if I can start this up. It's a beautiful day at the Greenway here for fishing. So we're excited to get to try this and show this to you. See, that one went in a little bit easier. Some of them work a little bit better. Again, nice flat to the ground there. And now ideally, I would space those out a little bit more, but I'm gonna go ahead and start this one up a little bit higher, as close to the edge as I can get it up there. Again, I have to be very careful at the top up here because I don't want that wood to split too much. And I might not be able to get the hook all the way through because the hook's probably longer than the wood, but I'll get it close. And again, nice and parallel. Since it bends there, it's going to look a little different. And you want them generally on the same side of the stick as well. Because remember, if you think about a fishing rod, that goes up the same side and that's going to hold your line. So the next thing we're going to do is get some of our line that we have here. And I'm going to move down to the ground for a second so I can put this down. So what you're going to do, now if you're used to some more traditional fishing with like a reel and a rod, this is going to be a little bit more like cane pole fishing. So what you do is I'm going to loop this a couple times here just to tighten it, and then I'm going to tie it into a knot to hold it down here at the bottom. And it's hard to see the fishing line. That's what we want. We don't want it, when it gets in the water, the fish won't be able to see it then. That's why it's got that clear look there. Maybe if I can make my loop a little tight here. There you go. So I've got that tied on. I'm going to grab my scissors real fast. Okay. I'm going to spool out a length so you can see my stick here. It goes up top, and then I want it to be a little bit extra longer because again, that's going to have to reach into the water. So I'm going to make mine a little bit extra longer here. I think that should do it. and cut that fishing line. Okay. So from here, you need to go ahead from the bottom of where your line is, and I'm going to try and clear it out a little bit here. Let me pull this. Okay. You need to take the end of your fishing line, maybe once I find it again. There we go. And you're going to feed it up through your little eyelets here. So you're going to go right on up there. You see where that's coming through? I'm going to put my finger behind it, and it's going to come up. You're going to feed that on up through. Oops, I don't want to drop it. And then all the way up top. Okay, so you're going to pull that until you've got all that extra line. Oop, I'm getting caught around my fishing rod. Up top here. So I've got a nice tight line there. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to get my bobber. And there should be a little bit you can push on it on one side so that it releases up the hook there that you can tie it around. So you're going to put that on in. Again, you're going to pull that up a little bit here because you want that hook to sink down in the water. I think I've got enough space there. We're going to try it up here. Make sure to push that hook. You can loop it around actually a couple times, and you can tie it if my fingers might be a little too much to try and tie it, but I'm going to try and loop it if I can. I don't think I can get it. You want to make sure that hook goes back down in. So sometimes, oops, and it's okay. Take your time with it. It takes a little bit of patience if you haven't done it before. There's a little bits here, so you want to make sure you've got that pulled tight. I'm going to turn that back so it locks. Try and show you guys while I'm doing it. There we go. So now my bobber is on. You want to find that end of your line again. I'm going to let the bobber drop. And then down to the end of the line. Again, this is where you want to get your parents' help. And I'm going to hold these very carefully. Please ask your parent for help to get your hook, the duct tape off of it, and to have them help you tie it onto the line. There can be barbs on hooks, so they can get stuck in. That's kind of what helps you catch the fish, but they can hurt you as well and get stuck in your fingers. So please be very careful with this part. And you're just going to tie a knot. And another little knot. Make sure it stays on. And then you can trim off that extra line. Now I want to make sure if you are doing this outside that you hang on to that line. This line can be dangerous to other wild animals like birds, some mammals. If they try and eat this, it can be very dangerous for them. So you want to look for a spot where you're fishing. If there's a special place to recycle it, there are places all around the greenway near our fishing docks. There's a little tube right over there, and it says that's where you're going to recycle your fishing line. So if you're not near a place that has that, make sure to hang on to all your fishing line so that it doesn't get for other wildlife and doesn't hurt them. So I'm going to put it in my pocket right now to make sure it's in there. Now the other step, one other thing I do not have here with me, and I want to pull my line down. I got a little trapped around my fishing rod down here, is bait. So you can go to a store. You can go to a bait tackle store and get some bait from them. Other stores may have bait if they sell fishing gear. You can also go find your own bait. So if you're looking for worms, crickets, small little things that you're gonna be able to hook onto the hook right here. So typically you'd get a little worm, night crawler, and you'd put it right on here, and that would serve as your bait for your fish within that. But otherwise, from there, we're gonna show you a quick little cane pull fishing. Of course, you always wanna be careful. Try not to tangle your line too much, but remember you have a very sharp hook on the end of this. And honestly, my line's a little bit long, so I'd probably cut this a little shorter. But you don't just want to go swinging this around when your hook's on it, because that could hurt somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cast mine out. Now, since I don't have bait, I probably won't get much. I'm going to try and let my bobber sink a little bit. What the bobber will help you do is once a fish catches onto it, it'll start to pull, and you'll see that. You can just see mine's floating right now. Again, I probably won't catch anything since I don't really have any bait on it. But if something does catch, you're just gonna try and hold on to your line that's down here and pull up. You might have to pull slow so the fish doesn't break the line on you. And then when you get your fish, you'll be able to take them off the hook. Couple of things to remember when you're out fishing is to make sure to do so responsibly. So check and make sure that the place you're going to allows fishing, what their rules are. So if you're over 16 and you need a license, or if you're under 16, if you need an adult with you who has a fishing license to be able to go fishing. But then go have fun and enjoy your time with your homemade fishing rod. Thanks.